Alrighty, y'all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the first streamed game of the Major League Wingspan Tournament 2026. I am joined today by my fellow commentator, Fly Eagle Fly. How's it going, boss?
Well, how are you?
Doing well, doing well. I am looking forward to the first streamed match of this year's tournament. And it's a little new this year, wouldn't you say, Fly?
It is, yeah, I would say so as well. I mean, we have some new birds this year. It's a large group of people playing, which is always fun. But yeah, and this game here is in an extremely competitive division in the Europe North, so it should be fun.
Yes, it is. And this is the first match of the open to be streamed. So if anybody watching is really hype about having their game shown, don't forget to go ahead and tag us for those open streamed games. But we're going straight into it. And Nasta is going up first. And here's her opening hand. What do you see that catches your attention, Fly?
Yeah, I think I'm looking at the modal and the tray. Like I'm probably gonna pick that up turn one and maybe try and build out it's to start something to start a forest and just maybe keep the chickadee. Um, Maybe she's looking at keeping that wagtail for the bonus cards. But yeah, I think I'm going. I think I'm picking up the modal and trying to build out some sort of forest engine here.
Same. I think both of y'all are on the same wavelength. And so interesting that we see that European goldfinch in that starting hand. What are your thoughts on that bird power? Because if you have so much food, you can't do anything with it. Is it really, a card to keep?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think because she's likely going to pick up the modal, right? Like you're probably going to have so like too many C's that you don't know what to do with them. So like I think it makes sense in this situation to not keep it and try and maybe find some other um, forest birds that can either generate points or seek other cards or something. So that would be my guess.
Yes, I concur. And we see Terracotta's opening hand, and I gotta say, not great. I mean, I think the little penguin is the obvious keep. You go digging. What do you think about potentially keeping that northern flicker? I mean, it does help with some tempo, but I just don't see that bird getting that much love nowadays.
Yeah, I like it. I think it has some utility, right? There's three worms in the feeder, so I think probably thinks like I can play that turn one, build it, start get a forest bird going. It helps with this end of round. So I kind of like it in this situation, but I agree with you. It isn't a bird that you typically see or have many situations to use it.
We see Nasta going straight off the top and picking up her a blackbird. I gotta say, egg issues will always be a problem, and I'm glad that she's able to find both those egg sources right off the bat.
Agree, and now she has a much better wetland bird to play than the wagtail, right? So at least now she can kind of get that down, start seeing some cars, getting some eggs. So I think it's a great find for her at this point.
All right, looks like Terracotta's grabbing some food and I guess trying to deny some nectar uh, for Nasta, not picking it up immediately. But I guess that kind of backfires uh, as some nectar's left in the tray. I mean, what's the priority for these players at this point?
I think it's to start getting something into the wetlands and start seeing some more cards. I think that's kind of where you want to go. Now, maybe if you're NASA, you can kind of buy yourself some time and start kind of building out your forest, right? I mean, I think if she can get the chickadee down soon, it helps with this end of round. So, but I think if you're terracotta, I think you're going to be starting to aggressively dig in the wetlands in these upcoming turns.
Yeah, we haven't talked about these upcoming end of round. So, Forest Engine is by far a favored with those first two end of rounds. Then we see Eggs and Bull Nest and White Power Birds. Still gives me the reason that you're going to want to find those birds and maybe develop a good food resource engine in order to start playing some. We see Terracotta there resetting the tray, and much about do nothing comes up.
Yeah, I was wondering if he was going to pick up that hooded warbler just because it helps with the last two end of rounds. So, but I think maybe going in a different direction.
Yeah, I think with all this free food, you have to just be resetting this tray aggressively. And yes, that is what we see from Terracotta. Still not
Yeah,
amazing birds. Nothing, no brown powers to really like speak of.
right. Yeah, and I love the power of resetting the tray. I think it's such a valuable strategy in the beginning of the game. Just see more cards, like it start kind of give you more flexibility to build out your game plan. So I love the approach to just flip the tray uh, and I think for Nasta here, she's going to grab that Polita woodpecker. That's a great find for her.
Yeah, you do have to be concerned with these Rule 16s as you flip the tray, see something amazing, pick it up, and then you reveal, uh, an additional egg source for your opponent. But luckily, Terracotta's got the Northern Flicker and Penguin to answer for that. And here we see, without finding an egg resource, you have to rely on the black shoulder kite hitting. What is your record with this bird? Do you think it hits more than it fells, or?
My record is not great with the black shoulder kite. I can't stand that bird. I really can't. I just feel like every time I really need it to come through, it fails. And every time I'm playing against it, I feel like it succeeds. So I'm not a fan. How about you?
Yeah, likewise. It runs hot or cold for me, and let's see how. Yep, it does work for Terracotta, so
Yeah.
that's at least gonna save him some turns going out and laying eggs. But
Yep.
you have to imagine with the pileated woodpecker coming down, maybe should have continued digging and not commit with that kite since you're going to be receiving some free eggs. But it
That's
looks
a great,
like,
great point. Yeah.
yeah, Terracotta's trying to go straight for some food development. And the round goes to Nasta, and we see the red crown craned in the tray. Now, I've heard from Plexa and others that red crown craned isn't that great of a bonus card. What do you think?
I think it's situational, right? Like if you have Winter Feeder or Visionary Leader, I think it can be great to like just cash that in early and then find a better bonus card. But yeah, I'm on the mindset I think it's a very situational bird in my opinion.
Yeah, I definitely would pick it up if you had one of those bonus cards that's very temperamental in the status of the game. Your Uologist, your Winter Feeders, um, but yeah, with both players having developmental cards, your Nest Box and Diet Specialist, there's no real reason to pick it up. And Nasta resetting the tray and seeing some even more amazing birds. Magpie Lark and Great Tit, great yellow power, great food development. Her forest is very quickly shaping up.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I mean, the great tit will just give her a bit more food. It'll help with her bonus card. But she also revealed some pretty good teal options there in the white throat and collar dove, which yeah, no surprise that Terracotta went and picked up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she would be wanting both of those, and that kind of solves Terracotta's egg issues with the white throat. So we might be seeing shift over to the forest for him as well.
Yeah, and the penguin is hungry today because 7 caches already, which is pretty incredible.
Yes, I just had multiple games with the Penguin and didn't even get five. So, uh, you know that Penguin is doing work when it's not even halfway through the game, and
Yeah.
it's nearing double digits. And so here we're at a decision point for Terracotta. Uh, I think that we're gonna see them either focus on this white throat, maybe they want that a noisy miner. It's it's a more immediate egg source than the white throat, but looks like grabbing that food to play that white throat. Over on Nasta's side, I'm kind of surprised she's not picking up some of these bigger birds.
Yeah, I think it's like it's tricky, right, with this end of round is right because you're trying to accumulate enough food to kind of put you in a position to maybe win this end of round, and I think that could like potentially hurt in terms of trying to maybe pick up some birds that maybe you would want in the tray or something.
She does have to be careful that the monal would qualify your opponent for the end of round in case that gives Terracotta maybe the freedom to play some birds, expecting that free wheat to come down. Um,
Yeah, and I mean I think also for terracotta the collar dove is really nice, right? Because you can just accumulate a lot of food this round, and then you can later on in the game use it on the collar dove, which I think again is a good way to kind of maximize like taking food this round just to win the underground goal.
yes, I agree, and both opponents going very heavy for this. Uh, End of round, we see Nasta playing the Minivet into the Great Tit. And so with that, that's an additional 4, 5, 6 food in one grassland activation. So uh, it's going to be difficult for Terracotta to compete here. At a certain point, when do you know, you see that the end of round is not up for grabs. What point do you just give up on that and start developing your board?
I I think it really is favorable when you're going last in these situations, right? Because then you can kind of sort of have some flexibility on that last turn to either take food and win the end of round or play a bird if you need to. So I think if I'm going first in the situation, I almost just I'm happy if I qualify, right? Because I just think that knowing my opponent can just take enough food to win it at the end is just a really hard kind of situation to overcome. I think.
True that, and Terracotta is still trying to chase for that end of round, while now Nasta, after her double play, is short on food. But uh, interesting how both players keeping nectar, or excuse me, Nasta is actually not selecting the nectar and making a real push for this end of round. Um, but yes, right now Terracotta's got 4 food. Uh, I think he's gonna be using the next 2 turns to play these teal powers, and uh, he's just gonna have to hope that the 5 food that he has now is enough. Excuse me, 4
Yeah,
food that he has.
and it's really interesting like the different board setups, right? You have NASA with like a really strong brown power forest, right? I mean that's a really strong forest, and I think Terracotta's doing a bit more of a kind of like a teal sort of activation type of game, right? Which I think um, you know can also work really well here. So it's very interesting, I think, to kind of see the different sort of approaches each player is taking in this game.
What's interesting on Terracotta's board is he's receiving the eggs from the woodpecker. He'll about to receive the eggs from the whitethroat. You got to still remove the black shoulder kite eggs. So there's a lot of demands for him to start playing these birds. Uh, I'll be interested to see if we see a double play with that bluebird to either the dove or the roadrunner.
Yeah, I think if I'm Terracotta, I probably play the collar dove, and then it gives me like a chance just to hold on to some extra food for the center, but it also can clear off an egg from the flicker.
Interesting that we've seen the pigeon, the crested pigeon, stay in the tray for as long as it did, seeing as how wheat is just flying around. But here goes that double play from Terracotta, and it looks like with one player having solely nectar and the other player having solely a non-nectar food. We'll see if yes, the colored dove is not going in. It looks like it is the
Mhm.
road run.
Yeah, I think Terracotta probably just said, going to just try and score a bunch of points here. Qualify is good enough for this end of round. And again, I think going first in the situation that makes a lot of sense.
I concur, and we'll see. Yep, these birds that Nasta has in her hand, you want to start getting them down. Like, yes, get all of the food that you can, but Nectar's going to be quite competitive this game. Uh, with Nasta's engine, I think she's got the lead on it, and it just depends on how effectively Terracotta can play some of these birds that he finds. But we
Yep.
see Nasta going into and resetting that tray. Not much.
Yeah, I think she probably wanted to maybe get the bittern down if before drawing cards, but unfortunately the power wouldn't be any use to her, right? So I think it's like, hopefully, I think she's probably hoping that Terracotta plays another wetland bird so she can get the bittern down and maybe see some more cards.
Yeah, I believe he'll be playing that black crowned heron and doing some digging with all his extra eggs. Now, what are your thoughts of this spoon-billed sandpiper that Nast just drew?
I, I'm not a big fan of the birds that allow my opponent to see another bonus card. So like I think if I'm really in a pinch and I can't find anything else at the end, I'm okay playing it. But I'm not a big fan of them. I just think that they can reveal too many good things for your opponent.
I concur. I think we're all a little risk averse of drawing two zeros and then giving mech engineer to your opponent. I don't see the sandpiper come out that often. But here we see a black crown knight heron going down for Terra, and I gotta say, both of these players, very, very good players, playing a rapid wingspan here.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up, but I think they both just know what they want to do, and they're moving at a really quick pace so far.
Yes, essentially, it's whatever you draw, that's what's getting played down.
Yeah.
Um,
And it makes sense because neither player is having amazing card draw, right? Like they're not seeing too many cards each action that they're taking cards, so I can understand that. But yeah, I think like if you're nasty here, right, you're really trying to hope that you find some big point birds for the end game here, and I think the same really goes for Terracotta as well. I think trying to find an end game here is going to be really important.
yeah, some big white point birds, white point, excuse me, a white color big point birds, but not much coming up. Dealing with the management issues. Some more teal powers coming
Yeah.
up, but again, that limited food draw might not be able to help him when he's trying to play these birds at the end.
Yeah, I think that's tough, right? It's like, you just you know, not getting the amount of food you want. And I think it is a bit of an egg management, exercise here for Terracotta and make sure that they can, use the white throws in the way they want to for this end of round.
Fortunately, he hasn't had much luck finding that fourth forest bird, which would be the the obvious play in order to extend out that forest. But potentially one of these grassland birds, either the swift or the dove, may be coming down. It just depends on if he can find that. And would you go out of your way to lay some eggs for this end of round?
I might, and I think for Terracotta here, those are two great finds in the whooping crane and the great hornbill. So I imagine that the hornbill will probably go down this round to kind of like to your point earlier, extend that forest out. So that was a really good turn for Terracotta taking cards there.
Penguin missing again, but yes, it turns out that with one, two, three, four Bull nest over on Nasta's side, she won't have to be doing much except gain food and play these big birds that she's been able to find. And again, not too much digging. It's just uh, playing what you draw.
Yeah, and we'll see how the end game for her kind of works out. She might be happy settling with the two she has, but I think she's going to probably want one or two more plays to really cap off the end game.
I can definitely see some a resetting of the bird tray coming up in round 4. Here we
Yep.
go. The last turns for round 3. Probably see a big point play here from Nasta with the bittern. I feel like that nectar in the wetlands is secure with 7, but you never know. That whooping crane, it was definitely going to go down. But now you have like this. Yes. Would you hold off on the whooping crane here in order to play with nectar, or just play it as you've got nothing else to do for this last turn in the round 3?
It's a really good question, right? I think you can make the argument for both cases, right? If you hang on to it, you can then give yourself a better opportunity to flip the nectar. But I don't know. I also like seeing the bonus cards, so I kind of know going into the last round, like, can I play a bird or two that kind of maybe align with whatever bonus card I had drawn. So I think there's advantages to probably both approaches.
And not an amazing a round 4 tray. I think at this point, you probably reset the tray once, grab what you can, get your food, and play your birds over for a terracotta. Meanwhile, for Nasta, she's gonna have to do some digging, as only card in her hand is that sandpiper, which again, we have to be risk averse in playing. And Terracotta taking advantage of the fact that maybe Nasta doesn't have that good card draw, because
Yeah,
he activating that hornbill. Do you activate the hornbill often?
I not often. No, I mean I think it's very situational, right? But I think in this case, right, it makes a lot of sense for Terracotta to activate the hornbill. But yeah, I don't find myself usually activating it often. You probably play it more from just like a big point perspective.
Swing and a miss for Nasta on that reset, but top decks a Hoopo and a Wagtail. Honestly, uh, she's gonna have to find some other birds to play here, because ooh, and skipping the bittern activation, I don't know about that. You have to
Yeah,
remember that that lark needs something, and hopefully you're drawing something in, or excuse me, playing something in the next 4 rounds. Uh, yeah, she might have to, you know, stick with the sandpiper if nothing else is found.
it's interesting for the hoopo, right? Because like in one way you want to get it down for this end of round, but then you don't have anything else really to play with the magpie lark, so you're kind of in this awkward position of how do you kind of maybe do both, right? And I think maybe she's trying to hopefully find something else that she can potentially play in the grasslands.
A second swing and a miss for Nasta, and this is the issue, right? Where you're having to, instead of coming into the round 4 with those birds ready to play, you're digging and digging, can't find anything. So
Yeah.
I can see the next 2 turns being of gain food and playing the birds that she has. I assume she was looking for something to cap off her bonus cards, and Terracotta laying eggs here. It's interesting. I guess he,
Yeah.
he's he gave up on trying to find birds, and he's just working his engine. Which, hey, kite hits for a second
Yeah.
time. That's a 7 point activation right there.
Yeah, no, it makes sense, right? It's like at this point, it's like it's not the flashiest end game, but you're just trying to get the most points you can, and if it's just laying eggs a couple times, like you know, it's maybe the safer play than trying to find something in the deck and playing it. So yeah, I get it.
And I could definitely see Terracotta just gaining food for those last two turns and trying to get that uh, collared dove some tucks. Meanwhile, we see Nasta trying to compete in that grasslands. It's going to be difficult with a dove, but she's doing her best here, and uh, interesting to see which of these birds gets played with the magpie lark, or would you
Yeah.
play both cards and just ignore the lark entirely?
I mean, I think it's going to be I mean, a stretch for NASA to compete for this end of round. So I think, I don't know. I think you don't have great options if you're NASA here. So I think I'm playing, you know, probably the wetland bird and the hoopoe with the magpie lark. But I don't know. I just Nighthawk isn't interesting. Wagtail is too late for Wagtail, so it's tough.
Yeah, and you have to keep in mind that if you are going to try and compete for uh, the grassland nectar, uh, maybe you do want to be playing your grassland birds time now instead of
Right.
utilizing that magpie, especially since you do discard two eggs instead of the one. So we may see that magpie lark activation not come through, or if it does come through, it may be that nighthawk getting played. And in comes the hoopoe, while Terracotta did a turn of egg laying, I believe.
Yeah, and I think now if you're nasty here, I guess you're probably gonna play the. Yeah, I don't know. I guess you play the what? I mean, I even wonder too that she might just play the Nighthawk with the Magpie Lark at this point.
It would be a 1 point play, but hey, better than nothing. And
Mhm.
we probably will see that Sandpiper come on down. Surprising that the Terracotta did not get food before their egg activation. They could have really utilized that extra worm for the Hoopo play, but uh, there we go with the
Yeah,
Black Shoulder Kite hitting a third time, but uh, egg spots two filled out, and it's actually good that he kept the food because now we see the Sandpiper, and I think this Sandpiper play is going to define the game.
yeah, I
Let's
agree.
see, let's see, and a swing and a
Oh,
miss. It's a strikeout for Nasta. Two 0 point birds, unfortunately, and
yeah, that's tough.
if you're Terracotta, you get a 3 point wetland data analyst. So that's Sandpiper effectively being a 0 point play for Nasta. She just doesn't recognize it.
Yeah,
But it did end up tying that end of round, and we see the yellow powers come through for Nasta.
yeah. There'll be some points here coming at the end for NASA with the pigeon and with uh, the wagtail and so forth. So it'll be some late game points.
Alrighty. And here goes the Nectars. Again, very strong, but in the end, Uh, only one person can win it, and we see those points climbing up on Nasta's. Those bonus cards again. Maybe that would be her undoing, but a lot of cash is coming up,
Yeah, it's gonna be close.
and it looks like Terracotta wins it, 128 to 113. So in the end, that bonus card wasn't the end all be all with a 15-point difference, but definitely a fun and interesting game. Let's see if our competitors are willing to talk.
Hi, can you hear me? Yes.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah, good game. Was a slightly strange game on my part. It's like had so much potential, but then just no birds. But also, I didn't spend that much time digging, so I guess that's what you get with no like card draw and good birds. Yeah.
Yeah, we did see that Forest engine come out immediately and thought like, okay, it's set up. Now she just has to find those birds. But what was it? I think you reset the tray twice in the round four, and yeah, the deck was showing you no love, Nasta.
No, no. And I reset the tray before as well, and so yeah, didn't come. The birds didn't come. But yeah, well played, Terracotta. I think yeah, was impressive. Uh, like how could you could utilize all the birds that you got to the fullest.
Thank you. I still don't know how I won after that round one. I was looking at the forest and was thinking, yeah, the game is over for me.
Yeah, yeah. Like when I rolled 16 the dove and the lesser white throat, that was really painful. Yeah,
Pileated woodpecker was painful for me in the first
yeah,
round.
Yeah, we definitely saw a momentum shift after those teal powers came online. Um, it's Terracotta. Can you tell us a little bit of how you were managing those eggs? With you had black shoulder kite eggs, you had white throat eggs, and then the occasional free egg from the woodpecker. What were you thinking?
I mean, mm, the thing, so you try to make your kite empty. So if you get a rodent and get the food you need, so you get 3x, and you aim to end your round for the white throat, so you get at least like 3 in one or 4 in one. And I think I got it in all the rounds, in round 2, in round 3, and round 4, and I think I got pretty much all, or maybe except one, hunts on kite. And even though the eggs was full, I could spend the food on the dove to tuck it on the dove. So it wasn't like useless.
Well, that was a great
yeah.
game for both of our players. Yeah.
Yeah, when I
Yeah,
played the bird that shares the bonus card, I was thinking, well, he has no cards, so he has to spend eggs or food, and those are points for him with the dove. So maybe it wouldn't be all that bad. But then, of course, it got me a 0 point bonus card and you
I
some
think
three.
I
Yeah,
got a
that was
basically it
yeah.
was plus 1 point for me. Spent to
Oh,
food to
yeah.
get a bonus card with 3 points. Yeah, I still I still was shocked that I won. Honestly, I was thinking I'm losing.
Yeah.
Well, good game to both of our players. And for our audience, if any of y'all are interested in having your regular seasons matches streamed, remember to opt in for that open to be streamed tag because we will be having these regular live streams throughout the tournament. First week just started. So best of luck to everybody who's still getting those matches in. Remember to schedule those matches with your league opponents. Thank you, Terracotta. Thank you, Anasta, for a great game. Fly, any final words you got for us?
I think we're going to be in for an exciting season. So this was a great first stream. So good game to both players.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for playing. See you guys.
Bye.
Thanks all.